Fettuccine and linguine. I mean, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here with 5-Star General, starting off the cast. Anyhow, so this is going to be Game 3. This is an ace match between RoseN as the Apothecary. We've got Warp Spider Exarch being controlled by Mr. Gibberish Face, a.k.a. MercyKiller. And so just to fill in the on-demand viewers, we were talking a little bit about how much this map favors the Warp Spider Exarch. What's your thoughts on all that, 5-Star?
Well, I'm really partial. I'm really partial to Calderis Refinery myself, but you know, I guess when you take an objective look at the map, a teleporting here is a little bit advantage because we're going to see right here. Watch what he's going to do. Boom! You go ahead and do exactly what that Warp Spider Exarch just did.
He can practically get 3 victory points before he can get 1.
Yeah, and also there's just kind of a very nice spacing between all the points, and you know, you don't have that kind of clustering like you have in Quest Heresy. So in Quest Heresy, you were able to see like RoseN was able to keep his forces concentrated throughout most of the game, make that single concerted push mostly. And interesting here, RoseN is actually not capping any of the right side of the map. He's like completely ceding that and going for the left side, and immediately going after this Warp Spider Exarch.
Huh. And the Warp Spider Exarch is, of course, blinking all the way up onto the other victory point. So, yeah, he's going to be going for his 3rd victory point. Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, on this map, I normally would say that if you're going to push one side, push the top, or as the bottom player, push the top side, because if you get to the other end and nobody's there, you can attack the power generators, if they're there.
Yeah, he does seem to, well, remember, we've seen both games that RoseN has secured. He's kind of been making his, not quite sure how to put this, making his mark of sorts. You know, it's been kind of consistent that he's been able to secure multiple generators for himself.
His modus operandi, his raison d'etre.
Indeed. So he's been looking to secure multiple of his own. Oh, it's quite fine. But and I think you added quite a bit to that. I mean, I obviously was not getting him right. But yeah, he's been looking to secure multiple power points for himself and actually utilize those multiple power points. Whereas we've been seeing that MercyKiller has been kind of content to only run off of 1 power node. So, you know, I feel like RoseN's really not too threatened by the power income of MercyKiller and isn't too enthused about actually having to go and bash that. He's just more concerned about being able to keep his own power, so by kind of focusing on this left side here, he's able to do that. But at the same time, he has no requisition points right now, and for a Space Marine player, that will hurt once he goes over 30 requisition.
Yeah, his victory. His,
30 population. My bad.
Yeah. His control over these the resources on this map is kind of terrible right now. It seems like he was kind of thrown off a little bit by the fact that the Warp Spider so quickly gobbled up the victory points. Instead, reacted to get them, and in the process,
the Scout Squad's very low. Is he going to heal him or?
Shredder?
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and give him a heal. Yep.
Just in case that Warp Spider tried to blink back there and do it. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like he was kind of thrown off by the fact that he suddenly needed to cap victory points. Went for that instead, and as a result, he's got a power node under his control and 1 victory point.
Yeah, and we are seeing the Warp Spider Exarch does get the decap off, and then he runs away. But yeah, we're also seeing that MercyKiller has gone back to the dual shuriken.
Yeah, and you can see that he's pushing that first shuriken all the way up into RoseN's base, so he's got that nice little contain idea going off again, I guess.
Yeah, he's exactly the same basically the same thing he did in the first game, except there are no buildings on Calderis. It's one of the reasons why I like it. I'm not a big fan of garrisons, but
good point. Poor little suppressed Apothecary right now. Was just dealing with that victory point. Was set upon by all sorts of shurikens of many varieties there. Taking some damage, backing away a little bit. Guardians doing their thing. We do see the Assault Squad coming out once again. So similar build orders to everything we've seen so far from both players. So really we'll have to see. Notice how he's keeping the both shuriken teams nice, like overlapping fields of fire, one guarding the other one. Nice little protection there against getting rushed. He's kind of moving them up, staggering them one after the other. Nice, nice defensive stance there.
Yeah, Calderis is a map where you can get base locked if you allow yourself to base. So RoseN's got to watch out for this, but he's got Assault Space Marines coming out. They are right here, so they're going to allow him to push back against this and to deal with it.
And the Assault Marines go bouncing on in. Ooh, yeah, landing directly on top of the shurikens, just as you would expect. Doing quite a bit of damage, and unfortunately, it looked like MercyKiller decided to take that opportunity to move his other shuriken cannon around the other way and was not able to provide that kind of cover against it. And now the Assault Marines get the best of both worlds, jumping on both cannons, being fired upon by neither.
Ooh, the Banshees not being micro there for a second. Actually, looking like they just attack moved in there, went for the
node.
Yeah,
did some damage to it.
Yeah, they did like a little bit, but they retargeted onto the Assault Space Marines there. So everything works out for them in the end. And we do see the Shuriken Cannon reset up here quite well, and just forcing them off the Assault Space Marines and the Apothecary. The Assault Space Marines just do not have the energy to jump again. And now, well, RoseN is going to put down generators despite the Shuriken sitting there. Shuriken just not doing enough damage to the generators to really matter here.
Yeah.
But it will go ahead and decapture the left node up here, which is really the right thing to do. Meantime, though, by the way, throughout all of that, RoseN did a pretty good job with his scouts of grabbing some requisition points on the right side. So he's kind of more or less capped what he had before, not what he had before.
Yeah.
Capped his side back.
The map is really kind of patchwork at the moment in terms of like who owns what. There's a lot of uncapped stuff and just kind of random points here and there. Neither player really has solid control over anything, but yeah, so I guess now we kind of move on to the second phase of the game because, you know, that was MercyKiller's nice little kind of forward base attack right there. And he did get a pretty significant lead in terms of victory points. He is at 488 right now versus 323 for RoseN. So now we get to see if he's going to try another kind of slow creeping push with the Shuriken Cannons or if the Assault Squad is enough to kind of keep him more central bound.
So we are seeing that, oh, there we go. The Assault Space Marine is going to be able to force one off. Scouts trying to force the other one up. Both Shurikens being forced off the field. So very successful move there by RoseN. And that's going to allow him to cap the middle victory point. And then now to deal with these Guardians who are a little trapped here. They've got no good way out. They're going to have to retreat through the Assault Space Marines. Take some losses in the process. And meanwhile, we have Banshees going in the middle. But again, they've got no support. Nonetheless, the right side of the map being decaptured by the Warp Spider Exarch. As MercyKiller goes tier 2, he's just denying RoseN key resources here. And victory points even now.
Yeah, that Warp Spider blink over and over and over again is just constantly denying that one. I mean, this is supposed to be the hardest to grab victory point on the map. But if you can blink, it's suddenly a real easy target because nobody defends it because it's, you know, it's got some of the best natural defenses that you could ask for.
Yeah, well, it's also just very tough to keep a hold on that and be, you know, everywhere else too. So,
yeah,
you know, teleporting, tunneling, insert mobility here heroes are just kind of able to bypass certain things, and you can't really put up like a solid front line.
Yeah,
they just kind of negate that. So whereas like in Company of Heroes, you know, you have that kind of more front line mentality. In Dawn of War 2 here, some of these heroes are able to subvert that pretty heavily.
Company of Heroes. We've got some nice shredding going on in the retreating scouts right now by the Warp Spider Exarch. Meanwhile, solid presence here on the left. We've got Assault Marines backed up by Tactical Marines getting ready for some sort of fighting going on here. But it doesn't really matter. We got a single Shuriken Cannon kind of pointed that way. I think RoseN is just going to have to back out of here for the time being. Both players almost done with Tier 2, by the way. Tier 2 going to MercyKiller right now, just about ready for RoseN.
We do have the Apothecary flanking both of these Shuriken Cannon teams here.
Ooh.
And there we go. Oh, a little too close to each other, and the Assault Space Marines managed to jump right between the two, knock both of them back.
That's good. That fixes that problem pretty well. Let's see if they're going to flank around now and try and do some damage to these Guardians who are now all alone and shivering and cold and being shot upon by Tactical Marines. And now it looks like pretty good map control going on to RoseN right now. RoseN, he's capping the center, he's got the right, he's got the left under control, and he's about to threaten a 3-cap here. All right, these games go really back and forth. These players tend to just swap humongous chunks of land as they you know, exchange map control.
And we are seeing the scouts. They're taking some pot shots at some generators, but they're going to back off. They hear the Warp Spider Exarch incoming, and he's got improved targeters, so he's capable of laying down quite the damage.
Improved targeters, slightly more effective in patch, or expensive in patch 3.14.
Yeah.
Less effective because he does less damage overall.
Actually, yeah, again, probably less effective as well because I'm assuming, I'm not sure if it's percentage based or if it's absolute, but if it's percentage based, it'll be less effective as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have Mastercrafted Bolter on the Apothecary who will be able to use that full auto when he's not retreating. Solid Space Marines knocking back some Banshees as Tactical Marines caught up in them here. Just the amount of melee prowess here for the Space Marines will allow them to knock, or what? The Banshees still staying in. They're actually doing pretty well here. Shotgun Scouts causing a few more problems, but yeah, the Eldar Force holds off here. MercyKiller's double shurikens just absolutely force everything.
Yeah.
Oh, Honor Colin! Gonna be a little late though.
Oh, just missed him.
And this time he doesn't kill any of his own Banshees.
That's good though. I mean, at the very least, don't kill your own units. It's okay to miss the enemy, but yes. Yeah, those double shurikens were doing exactly what they wanted that battle, which is just to stand still and shoot the whole time. Like the DPS, it goes wildly up when you don't have to run around and get knocked back and forced into melee and stuff. Autarch now taking advantage of this, going to go for the triple cap again in reverse here. So it is 269 for RoseN, 405 for MercyKiller.